It's another game week for Saluki football as they hit the road again. First two games away from Carbondale as they head to Forterra Stadium this weekend to take on the Austin Peay Governors. And it's going to be another night game, Saturday night, and we'll have you covered. This is your Saluki radio crew alongside the Coach Pat Poor, Mike Trude. I am Luke Martin. Coach Poor, it's one of those games where for Southern Illinois, there's a lot you can take from film that can be a positive from BYU, and you hope to apply it and learn from it and make improvements here in week two on the road against Austin Peay.
Well, I think you're spot on. That's always going into week two. It's your process of building a team in the season, and you look at what you did well and build on those positives, and then also, you know, what do you got to fix? And really coming out of last week's game, you know, there were some penalty things. We were pretty good as far as taking care of the football, and I think a lot of it on both sides of the ball was schematic and technique, and just, hey, we got to be better in these spots. And then the big one that really stuck out to me was just third down. Defensively getting off the field, and then offensively, you know, being able to stay on the field and you know, and finish out drives and get points.
When you look at Austin Peay, this is a program that you would think maybe a little bit of a revenge game here this year, Mike True, but barely anybody's back from last year's team when you count their transfers and their true freshmen. 55 newcomers compared to only 35 letter winners that are back, and truly only 2 starters back.
Yeah, 2 starters, a wide receiver played a little bit last year. The 2 starters were linemen. So, yeah, it's kind of a revenge game, but there's nobody there who can really reflect on what happened a year ago. The entire coaching staff is brand new, so it's almost like a new beginning for Jeff Ferris and his staff and the team at Austin Peay. And they made the playoffs a year ago, and I know that's what they want to get to, but it just seems like it's a hard thing to do when you have that many newcomers trying to bring everybody together by week 2, week 1. I think it's going to be a process for them as the season goes along.
Mike mentioned Jeff Ferris. He takes over. He was a longtime assistant at Duke, most recent stop under Chip Kelly at UCLA. He's got a great football pedigree, Coach Poor. What have you seen? I know it's one game, but what's kind of his style it looks like that he wants his team to play?
Well, I think, and everybody has their tendencies, and obviously it's a small sample size going off of one game, but I do feel like he likes to throw the ball and be wide open and run today football offense. Coming off of film, a lot of zone. They really seem like they like the counterplay, and I do think up front, you know, you look at where those transfers came from. They have some power forward guys up front. The center, obviously, you know, is a really good player, I think, in terms of his athleticism and just his experience.
Oh, it's kind of funny, Mike Trude, as you think last year they start off the year 0-2, then they don't lose again until the postseason when they host Chattanooga there at Forterra Stadium. And a big reason was the offense had a lot of success a year ago, but new quarterback Mike DeLillo is gone, and they, a lot like Southern, they feel like they have multiple options that they can go to in the QB room.
They do. Mason Garcia is the guy who started a week ago, got injured in that game, had to come out. They went with Smith, the backup, but they both played last week against Louisville. Garcia threw the ball well. Smith in times threw the ball well, but again, it's the offensive line that's going to be key for their ball club. They hung their hat on their line a year ago, and they didn't have a lot of success against our defense, so it'll be interesting to see what transpires this year with our new defense, because it's practically a brand new defense as well, against their brand new offensive line.
SIU last year, Coach Poor, it was their best offensive performance of the year, and it was week 1 of the season. Defensively, though, again, a lot of new faces for Austin Peay on that side of the ball. What will really be some of the key talking points for Southern this week to attack that Peay defense?
Well, I think that one of the big keys is just going to be taking away what they feel like they want to come into the game and do. And it seemed like last year we were able to get after the quarterback. If you look at their last week's game, they gave up 7 sacks. We've got to be good on the edges. And run game wise, they like counter, and it's going to be one of those where, again, we've got to set an edge and make things spill and then run to the football and tackle well.
So for Southern to get that first win, the importance for Southern to really put last week behind them and focus on the challenge ahead.
I think they are really focused on the things that didn't work a week ago, and a lot of that had to do with BYU. really, really good football team. I don't think they're going to be 13th in that Big 12 conference. They showed a lot of grit. They showed that they could make plays when they needed to make plays. I really like Retzloff, the quarterback. But back to this one, I think the Salukis are focused to get it going again. We saw the offensive line doing a little bit extra stuff Mondays and Tuesdays because I know Coach Clark wasn't overly thrilled with the way they blocked last week. They have to be able to run the football, which a year ago against Austin Peay ran for 180 yards. So against a team that was thought to going to be able to stop the run pretty decisively. So if Southern can get on board with the run game, it sets up the rest of the playbook for Nick and for the quarterback. And they also have to now account for DJ Williams as a runner out of the backfield.
Kickoff will be at 6 o'clock, which means our coverage for Saluki Radio will begin at 5 o'clock for the Govs and the Dogs. We will talk to you tomorrow night from Clarksville. For my partners Mike Trude and the coach Pat Poore, I am Luke Martin. We will see you tomorrow night, Saluki Nation. Go Dogs.